Hi guys, what's up? It's Joel Pitt here, back with another video for the final episode of Britain's Got Talent. This is episode 14 and it's the final. I'll leave a link down below to semi-final 5, which is episode 13. Massive spoilers in this one because I'll be revealing the winner, second place and third place, as well as some of the losers. So, you know, if you've not watched the semi-finals, go watch them before you watch the final or hear this review. So, the final acts, the acts in the final are Flakefleet Primary School, Dave and Finn, 4MG, Siobhan Phillips, Colin Thackeray, Kojo Annan, Ben Hart, Mark McMullen, X, Jonathan Goodwin, and the wild card, which we found out later in the show, towards the start because they were shown, and it was in the papers as well, it was Libby and Charlie who came third in semi-final 5. At the start, Ant and Dec were on the judging panel and we were seeing all the finalists before they perform. X was not there, and then suddenly he was there on a seat. Of course, they said flashing images throughout the show because it's the final big one, you know. So at the start, Dave and Finn, they were using like this scrapbook thing, biscuits, cards, whatnot. And the funny thing was, the vet who saved Finn was in the audience as well. Also, I've heard on the 8th of June, Finn's Law will be an official thing. Basically, if you don't know what this is, I didn't know what it is until he explained. Basically, it means if you harm or abuse an animal that's like working for the police, you can get done for. And, well, it's because what happened was Finn was stabbed when, you know, he was trying to stop a criminal, you know, from, you know, getting away or whatnot. He got stabbed, and then the vet saved his life. It was just remarkable. Flakefleet Primary School was good. Take That, Rule the World, they did. Of course, you know, they had different objects for different words, whatnot. Ben Hart. I saw Amanda stand up, and then she sat down, and then she stood up again. And then Ben, he was telling this story. It was like close-up magic thing. Instead of just like the big stuff, he was telling the story, and he was making it become real. So basically, he saw this magician who had a deck of cards, and he shrunk the cards every time. He like rubbed them, and they got smaller and smaller until it was dust, and then just blew it away. Yeah, like I said, Libby and Charlie, they came third in semi-final 5. They were the wild card. They got a call a few days before the final. They had only 48 hours to perform. 4MG, I think one of them turned 19 because when they did the audition, they said 18, 17, 17 and 19. They put an X with permanent marker on Amanda's hand, and then, it was on their arm, and then they took it off and then they put it on Amanda's hand. Unbelievable that. Neon lights flickering to spell Simon's name. Simon broke a glass. Alicia turned a key using a finger and an invisible connection. But I heard rumours on the paper that anyone can do that because I've heard people say you can get like a magic box trick with that for just a £5. And kids can do it too. Like, I was reading that in the paper today, so that's given a bit of it away. Mark McMullen, you know, gentle at the beginning, and then it was powerful at the end. He walked off. He was going to walk off too early as well. Jonathan Goodwin, of course, do not try this at home. Daredevil stunt he is. His daughter suggested the idea he did on the show. Cheryl was in the audience. So basically, his assistant would pull this rope and gravel would drop from the box into the box, and basically he would be buried in it and was chained and handcuffed, and he had to escape, really. Heart rate and stuff, you know, I didn't think he would do it, or if he did do it, would he be one of the cameramen, you know, like Darcy Oak, because like he escaped, like it was magic, disappeared, and then he was one of the cameramen. Unbelievable. Of course, No Danger Actors won, so he was saying, you know, that I would like to be the first one. Siobhan Phillips was singing a song about mums. Most people can totally relate to that. There's some stuff in there, absolutely funny. Comedy at the start, you know, like Peter Kay sort of stuff. And it's just that, oh, it's in what's in the inside that counts. Well, the only inside I've got is KFC bargain bucket and cake. X at the start, Ant and Dec were saying, X, it could be a he or she. She could be a she. Now, I recognise that. I didn't watch it at the time, but I've watched it kind of recently. Basically, that's from the Missing Crown Jewels from Ant and Dec's Saturday Night Takeaway. That's a line they used quite a lot in there. There's loads more X's on the stage, people just basically en masse. This time, Ant was on the left, Dec was on the right, and he was like, that's much better. The audience was connected with X, so basically mixed up these circles and squares, and he asked them to go from a circle, move different directions, and they like all ended up with hope. And he was saying hope is everywhere from the start in the acts, and in his act last year as well. And then in the audition, Ant was saying, I wonder if he takes off the mask and it's someone we know. They slowed that down until they rewind, and then they went back to last year. And basically, he was Ant and Dec's golden buzzer. It was Mark Spellman that was X. He revealed himself on stage. I don't know if this was a good idea, you know, because he could have kept it quiet and then just be the man behind the mask throughout his whole performance. I don't know, but yeah, because he didn't get to the final last year. He only got to the semis. So, you know, I think he was saying last year, you know, he wants to try and get there, but, you know, in a different way, whatnot. Kojo Anand, you know, Kojo, amazing funny guy. It was just too funny. So, yeah, he invited Simon to his church as well, and Simon should start to see you Sunday. Colin Thackeray singing Love Changes Everything, the Michael Bull version, I think. Moving and powerful. And he said, you know, it's not just about the talent, it's about the people, the judge was saying. So the results were put into the final. It wasn't a separate episode. Diversity came back after 10 years, and so did Susan Boyle, just singing A Million Dreams from the album 10. The last final I recorded, like I filmed, but I didn't do a review about, I don't think. It was in 2017, 2 years ago, yeah. Susan Boyle sang with Michael Bull. I didn't watch 2018, of course, but the format for that was like, you are not in the top 3, as 2017 was going from 11 to 4 and then finding out the top 3 in that way. I believe there's something going on, Britain's Got Talent, the Champions. I don't know when that will be, but basically the best acts from around the world will be going against the winners of Britain's Got Talent. So, didn't get through were Mark McMullen, Siobhan Phillips, Jonathan Goodwin, Libby and Charlie, 4MG, Flake Freak Primary School, Dave and Finn, and Kojo Anand. It was at the final stage. It was between Kojo and Ben for the final spot at the top 3, and it was hard to call, but I would have thought he would have been in the top 3 as well as Jonathan and X. So I was right about 1. So, in 3rd place was Ben Hart, and in 2nd was X. So the winner was Colin Thackeray, and when they said, you've won £250,000, he was like, ooh. And then he said he was going to make a donation to something, and then, I can't remember what else. So yeah, that is all for this video. I'll do Britain's Got More Talent straight after this, so I'll see you in that.